Hello, my darlings. I hope you're all managing to keep safe, well, and as happy as possible in these rather strange times that we are finding ourselves in. It's anti-bullying week, and I know last week I talked a little bit about cyberbullying and touched on a little bit of my own horrible experiences. But this week I do want to go into it a little bit more, not just because it's anti-bullying week, but because the effects of being bullied on any level, whether it's cyberbullying or to your face, the effects, even after the bullying has long stopped, can actually alter a person's life. You know, bullying, just one result of bullying is depression. You know, if somebody has been bullied for a long time, they get very depressed, and depression very often leads to suicide. So really, and I really mean this, if you think about it, if you are a bully that makes people feel like that, inadvertently, you're as serious as somebody who murders somebody. And I actually know, in my personal experience, of one young lad during COVID 2 years ago, and it really did break my heart because I was trying to help him, although he was in America, and he was severely anorexic, and memes would go around on social media about him, calling him stick man. And he ended up in hospital on a drip. The bullies still got to him there, and he pulled the drip out, and he passed away because he just couldn't face life. So yeah, it's anti-bullying week, but actually bullying can have a massive impact on people for a lifetime. And as I've said in many of my videos since I started up this YouTube channel at the start of COVID, every single person you meet carries a story. We are all skins with stories, really, chapters, journeys, and you never know what somebody is going through. And whatever you've been through on a personal level, however horrible that is, that does not give you the right or the excuse to bully another. I've written something down here, and it's quite powerful actually. When I was thinking about writing this article over the weekend, I've got to put my glasses on, you know, I've warned you about this before, you hit a certain age. So, and it goes like this: the boy you punched in the hall today committed suicide a few minutes ago. The boy you called lame has to work every night to support his family. The girl you pushed down the other day is already being abused at home. That girl you called fat, she's starving herself. The old man you made fun of because of his ugly scars, he fought for our country. The boy you made fun of for crying, his mother is dying. I know these people. And they have been the victims of this, from bullies who have absolutely no idea of the tremendous strength inside these individuals or the stories they carry. And at the end of the day, having been a victim of bullying myself, really severe bullying in recent times, I've come to the conclusion that bullies want to erode all that potential inside you that they can see, but you can't. So what is bullying? You know, it's so loose, isn't it, in schools? It's so, schools give the talk, and I go and give talks in schools about this. So, you know, I'm really sorry if I'm offending people, but it's the truth. I'm going to bullying meetings this week to help represent some children. It's rife, and you know, bullying is bullying, and there's no excuse. So I want to make it really clear to you today on this video exactly what bullying entails. And it goes from not just physical abuse, pushing, kicking, hurting, but it's also social and mental abuse, ignoring, making fun of somebody, you know, making fun of somebody because they're neurodiverse, using hate speech whether it's colour, religion, a disability. This is all bullying. Leaving people out, making fun of people. You know, I've got a whole list here. I need my glasses again. So sorry, and I even wrote it in massive great big capitals too. Being put down or humiliated, called names or teased, being threatened or intimidated, being kicked, hit or physically hurt, being pushed or pulled about, having rumours spread about you. And even if somebody has got something on you, for instance, you've sent, and it's rife now, this is rife as well, you've sent a naked selfie, or people film each other in intimate situations, and they then use that to put on the internet. That is blackmail, bullying and blackmail. But if they're spreading false rumours and lies about you, it's just as disgusting, because it's with the intent to harm, degrade, shame, belittle, erase. And it is never, ever acceptable for any reason. If you are having your money or possessions taken from you, messed about with, this is also bullying. I made a huge list. Somebody trying to control you, you know, if they're manipulative, narcissistic, sociopathic, you know, it can really develop on from bullying. So by facing bullies early on as children, you are actually helping to prevent these adults that they could end up becoming, because, you know, bullies grow into bullies, you know, and they do develop these horrible, narcissistic, psychopathic traits. So it needs to be nipped in the bud, and it needs to be seriously addressed. It should no longer be about the victim having to move school or the victim being removed from things. The whole picture needs to be addressed. And I spend a lot of time going to organisations, charities and schools, giving talks and strategies to put in place to deal with this. Because, you know, everybody in that situation is communicating something, and everybody in that situation needs help, you know, particularly if they're children. Following or stalking somebody, that's bullying. It's bullying. Ignoring somebody, leaving them out, persuading somebody else to bully someone. I had a case recently where this happened with a child I was working with, and, you know, her very best friend was being bullied to bully her. And it was really real and really, really heartbreaking, particularly as the girl in question is very high functioning autistic. I hate that term. Couldn't read any of the signs, couldn't understand it. You know, it's hard enough if you're neurotypical, but if you're neurodiverse, it's hideous. You know, you're already having a battle surviving to fit in every day, and particularly girls who mask, spreading harmful stories, and the cyberbullying part that's really been prevalent since COVID. And to me, out of all of those I've listed, that is the most cowardly, because you can do it anonymously. You know, you can name, shame, degrade, humiliate, blackmail, do all sorts of horrible, horrible things to diminish, demean, hurt somebody and their families. And you could do it all behind an anonymous member, an anonymous, you know, a fake email that then leads to cyber fraud, as I said last week. So this is really serious stuff, and the impacts both for the bully, who then grows up to bully, but for the victim, who could end up self-harming, having panic attacks, having depression, eventually even taking their own lives. It's absolutely unacceptable. Incidentally, if you are physically hurt or pushed, you can push for a police involvement if the school are being absolutely useless, are not walking their talk, not backing up their rules, which they are legally entitled to do if they've put those in place. Take it beyond the school. If the governors close ranks, take it beyond that. Take it to the police. Because if a child in England or Wales is 10 years or over, and they understand the intent that they were causing, they can get a criminal record. And we all know by 10, it's not funny to break people's arms, to video being beaten up, you know, to kick, to push. We all know those things aren't acceptable. We know those way before 10. So you can involve the police, even if it's just for that talk, that will put an end to it. You can also, as I said last week, if it's harassing, stalking, anything on social media or anti-social media, as I call it, TikToksic. Hate that app. I hate it with a passion. TikTok, I don't care what you say about that. I hate it. There are no rules to check that you're 13 or over. And the things that the kids are watching on TikToksic are absolutely horrendous. You know, it is just absolutely unfiltered in a bad way. And things are being put on TikTok where people are being filmed crying because they're being bullied. They're being lied about. Kids lying about, openly lying about other kids. These kids are coming to see me and they've got neurodivergences and they are being lied about on social media, and that is being circulated, and these kids are so upset they cannot stop checking to see how many views it's getting and all the comments. So it's inciting hatred. It's done with the intent to incite and to exclude. So parents, get on top of this. You know, really get on top of this. If your child is withdrawn, quiet, you know, if they're self-harming, this is all communication. There are conversations you need to be having, and there needs to be in place within every school a serious adult safety network that walks their talk and backs it up, because some of these things I've covered today are illegal within the law for us all. In some states in America, it's as young as 7 that you can have a criminal record for doing these sorts of things. So Anti-Bullying Week needs to remain with us every day and keep an eye out. You know, if you see somebody being bullied, don't just turn a blind eye. I know it's scary. It's really scary, especially when you're a child and you're scared that you'll then get picked on. But, you know, be kind to somebody you see on their own. You don't know what story they're carrying inside them. Discreetly tell another adult in the school, not to mention your name, but to be aware of it so that they can pretend that they've noticed it in a playground or a bus stop or wherever it's happening. You know, there are adults you can get involved in a discreet way. You know, get friends to be around that person who is being bullied. You don't know what they're going through. I know kids who are carers for parents. You know, one I can think of right now, both his parents are blind. I know another one whose mother is deaf, and he's a full-time carer. And these kids are 10, 11 years old, and they are going to bed at 1, 2 in the morning, having disturbed nights. They're not looking their best, so they're being picked on. They're vulnerable, and it's a spiral. And they are dealing with so much strongly and privately, and they are 10 times worth the bullies that pick on them. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit passionate about this because I'm dealing with so much of it at the moment, particularly since I divulged my own story purely to help other people and through no vindictiveness on my part whatsoever. I haven't ever named or shamed anybody. I have never smeared my private business all over social media, never. So, you know, bullying is a very serious thing. It is prevalent amongst our young children. The bullies need to be helped, but even more so the victims. And removing a child from a school because a school is just not following through their statements, their policies, it's not good enough. And you can go above and beyond, and you can involve the police. And where it's cyberbullying, social harassment, stalking, anything like that, all you need to do, as I said in my video last week, is photograph 2 screenshots of evidence. And remember that even if the perpetrator deletes it or thinks they know somebody really, really clever who can delete it, the police have high-tech units and absolutely everything can be retrieved. So don't feel powerless. Don't let somebody put your light out because they think that's the way they shine brighter. Don't let them make you think you don't have potential, because it's that potential inside you that they see, and it's their own insecurities that make them the people they are, and they need help. You know, they need help. And you, if you're a victim of bullying, need to know that you are heard, that you are safe, that you can take charge of this situation, and that you can face your bullies. And you do not need to go into a life of serious mental health challenges that will shape the adult that you will become, or even worse, end up with you taking your own life. So be there for each other. Be kind. What does it take? Bullying is not going to end on Sunday at the end of this week. Bullying is a horrific, terrifying, agonizing, painful, isolating thing that some people are going through all the time, every minute of every day. And if they thought that could finish on Sunday, they'd all be cartwheeling, and it won't be ending on Sunday. So let's use this week to get the message out there, but let's follow up this week with knowing what bullying is, what we can do about it, what the laws are to protect you, and how you do not need to just go to a board of governors and accept their decision. You can take it further. You can take this legally. So be kind. Be kind. Our world needs it. Let's try and understand each other. You know, every child you pass in a hallway is carrying a story. Every person you stand behind in a queue at the supermarket or the bus stop or a train station, they're carrying a story, as are you. So let's bring a little bit more humanity and a bit more bravery into our lives, and reach out and make sure that this message about bullying echoes and keeps echoing until something is done, because it's not a one-week solution. So take care, everybody. Have a really good week and get that message out there. And you are not alone. You are not alone. Take care, everybody. There'll be a follow-up article on Anna Kennedy online later today with what bullying is, what you can do about it, and different resources that you can access freely. And if you want to write to me personally, my email address is info@therapiesforspecialneeds.co.uk. I'm also on Facebook. You can write to me on this channel. You know, I do put my money where my mouth is, and I do help when people need it. I don't just give this lip service because I'm a well-being ambassador for a good charity. I mean this. This is heartfelt. So look after each other and have a good week, everybody. Take care. See you next week.